This one has been a long time coming, and has taken me a while to compile, but I wanted to be sure that my thoughts were structured correctly. And I didn't want to fall into that, oh, a new shiny game mentality. Y'all deserve a fair review, and that's what I'm here to do. So without any further ado, let's roll that intro. So we've made it through the most alpha to ever alpha. We've made it through the beta that only opened up more issues. And now we're looking at the full game. Sadly, I don't have much good to say about it. Not that I don't have anything good, just not a whole lot of it. Let's get this out of the way first here. These are my opinions, albeit shared by others. And I also know that titles this close to launch will have plenty of problems and may be improved in their lifespan. Now that I've said that, let's get into the nitty-gritty. Alright, so we got some problems, we got some positives, and we got some hope, but definitely some problems. Let's get the rough parts out of the way first because, I don't know, that's what I feel like doing today. Problem number one will be the least of the actual problems. But I want you, the consumer, to think long and hard about this. If you're playing this game because you're also playing Warzone, there's something big and obvious staring us right in the face that I feel that we need to talk about. Why on earth do we have the same guns as we do in Modern Warfare? I know that guns like the MP5 and the M4 have been staple guns for many COD titles, but I feel like there hasn't been any communication between companies to address that. Maybe there has been, but only maybe. But also maybe, there shouldn't be a bunch of guns that we already have. I'm so tired of the MP5 being the immediate go-to gun in COD titles, and right now, there's 2 M4s, 2 AK-47s, 2 AUGs, 2 50 cal snipers, 2 MP5s, 2 M16s, 2 Bisons, and who knows what else. And sure, they have differences, but man, give me the Honey Badger or the CMJ for ghosts. Give me the BAL-27 or the IMR from Advanced Warfare, which I know these are pretty modern, and don't really fit the theme of the company, but we can even go back to previous Black Ops titles and bring in the SMR from Black Ops 2, or even some SMGs like the PM63 or the MPL from Black Ops 1. But for the life of me, I genuinely can't understand why we copy-pasted the same guns that will be in a game mode shared by 2 games. And I know what you're thinking. Man, he sounds super heated just about this thing. What's going to happen for the other problems that exist in this game? Well, I'm not as heated about these, but I'm definitely concerned about them. And problem 2 is probably one of the bigger letdowns for me, and that's that the beta and some of the alpha problems still aren't fixed. I mean, I guess what do we expect with the launch happening only a few weeks after the beta dropped, but I will say it's pretty disappointing that there are still sound, visual, and mechanical issues still looming from those weeks that we already played through. I think I've touched this issue a lot, but the visuals were slightly improved. Guns and hit markers do sound quite a bit better, but man, just something about all of this feels very rushed, and it's hard to come to grips with. The eye strain from the game is still definitely there, and I feel constantly like my game is too loud even when I can't hear anything other than the explosions or footsteps. And to top it all off, going from Cold War gameplay to Warzone is an entirely different beast that I can't quite explain without showing you, so hopefully I put in some footage here that will really show that transition. Now that you've made it through problem number 2, problem number 3 comes to us with connection issues. Both with connecting to the lobbies and with the game crashing. Again, these do kind of fall into the beta and alpha issues, but for the first week I actually felt like it was worse than those. I can tell you that consistently 1 out of every 5 matches, my games would crash, or I'd be booted out of the lobby, or frozen in place for a solid minute or 2 without any control over the menu. Now, a lot of that has been worked through, but connecting to a game still takes way too long. There's a massive delay in load screens and loading in characters, and finally, the countdown to start the match, all for the potential for you to have a really bad match, or one that you'll disconnect from halfway through. Problem 4 is going to be a little bit more broad, because it doesn't actually fit into one category. But I want to talk about how the game is still a huge file size, and still puts a large strain on a processor for PC and console. I'm glad that we're going for broke, and giving us the works. But it really is eating hard drive space, and we've only just launched this game. 80 gigs without Warzone and without the HD textures installed for campaign, multiplayer, and one map of zombies. Don't get me wrong, the game offers a lot, but if you only have 500 gigs on a previous generation console, there's no longer space for you to have any other games. Maybe one. If you're a PC gamer, you almost need to have a hard drive dedicated to just 2 COD titles. And the fact that you need pretty new hardware to run these titles is also an issue. My system is by no means the end-all be-all best of the best, but I can run any other title at full graphic settings and barely have any strain on my system. On mid-graphic settings, these games cap my system at a very strange time, and I know I'm not the only one that's experiencing these problems. Now this is the last of my problems, but it might be the biggest problem that I have. And it might be the most controversial, but I truly do feel that this game is a 2012 game released in 2020. I have played every Black Ops title since Black Ops 1, and I can honestly say that there's nothing that changes the mold of previous Black Ops titles, or even gives us a comparison to the newest Modern Warfare. This is really hard because you want to judge the game for itself and not compare it to everything else, but it's almost like it has to be done. This is a AAA company giving us a B title. Mechanically, it has issues. Visually, it has a perplexing amount of problems, and gameplay already feels stale. I've put 2 images on the screen, the first being from Black Ops 3, and the second being from Black Ops Cold War. The former of these titles was such a visual wonderland, and had so much aesthetically that you can ignore some of the issues that it had. It unapologetically tried things that made it feel different. The latter has given us 12 maps, only 3 being anything decent, and some of them being rehashed in smaller ways, so we actually only get 9 maps total. I believe we've only received 2 new game modes as well, with VIP Escort and Dirty Bomb, which only one of is good. Dirty Bomb is just a dirty pile of garbage, and it's completely unfun to play as a solo player. Now, I know I'm being harsh and really getting into the flaws, but this is a company that has made many a title prior to this, and has a large amount of money at their disposal that they should, at this point, be able to get it right pretty much out of the gate. Okay, now on to the positives, and again, I'm going to start with the least positive and work my way up because I feel like it. Number 1 will be a strange one, but I hope you'll appreciate it as much as I did. The map Armada, which is still a giant turd that needs to be avoided at all costs, was shrink down for normal 6v6 multiplayer, and is probably one of my favorite maps in Cold War, and that's all I'm gonna say about it. Number 2 for our goods goes to a fairly fun campaign. It's not great, it's short, and in the beginning I was annoyed by weird dialogue stuff, but it eventually becomes an ah moment. I'm not going to spoil it because towards the end of the campaign I was having a really good time, and I think that you should play through it too. The campaign was fun for me, and I think that's what matters most. Number 3 of our positives goes to the straightforwardness of the game. Now what I mean by this is that I love that we can see health bars for our enemies. I love that we can see values for what our guns and attachments do. And I love that we can see our damage numbers in zombies for the first time ever. It's such a relief to have those pieces of visual information right in front of you at all times. And finally, positive number 4. And this is the big kahuna, the cream of the crop. Zombies is so dang good. I'm genuinely having a blast playing this game mode. It's a breath of fresh air to take a break from normal COD stuff and play an exciting new twist on a classic game mode. I can honestly say that I think they put their hearts and soul into this mode, and it shows. Honestly, it made getting the game worth it for me just for this. Okay, I've said a lot, and the year is 2020. We all know that it has been a very rough year, and that COVID has hit a lot of corporations, and this does include Treyarch. But my overall opinion is that there's no excuse for an incomplete launch, and I say it even warranted a delay so that it could be worked out as best as possible. I truly believe in a few weeks many of these bugs will be addressed, and about 2 months from now, we'll see what should be representative of the whole game. I know my positive list seems short, but those positives still keep me booting up the game and having a good time. And at the end of the day, isn't that what it's all about? Having fun? My final score for this game would be a 7 out of 10, just a solid C. There's still a lot to be desired, but I think we can get to that point. Hey, thanks for sticking with me. If you want to head over to my Twitch and follow me, we can talk about anything Call of Duty and just vibe while killing the living and the dead. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more Call of Duty content, and I will catch you all next time. Thanks as always.